Okay, that's a big old thing there, that's for sure. I can't even cut that one down the middle. But that's all right. I'll cut it off on a couple segments and get it to where I can machine boards out of it. So there it is there. I'm ready to roll. That log is about 47 inches long, and it's this side down here, it's a good 9.5 inches thick down here on this end, so it's really pretty tall, and it's pretty wide. Let me get a tape measure out. All right, it's a little under 18 inches that way, and this way, as far as height goes, is sitting at 10.5 with bark, so 10 inches of hardwood, right maybe there. So, and then on that side's a little higher. So there we go. Go ahead and move that slab off, and we'll slide this over and cut that other one more time. All right. It makes me breathe hard when I've got to pull something off. You know, you look at that, it's just one little part of that, but that thing's heavy. I mean, that's the weight of a collie right there. All right, so let me scoot this thing over or run it back a little bit and see if I can get it to cut again. And I'm just about at the depth of my blade, so I may have to see if I can roll this over to one side first, down this way, and then scooch it over. We'll do that. You know, when I was younger, I'd get my wife out here and give me a hand with them big things, and I figured out that it's better to get me a 2x4 out here and put my belly to the task to slide that thing down. And then I'm going to roll it over and get there. So there we go. Oh, sure, he says. We'll just lift that up, roll that over. No, that's still really heavy. I tried, believe me. Anyway, so I elected to take this off. So I took the nuts off of that. That's all that. Lift this straight up, get this out of the way, slide this back over, and get it back down to the carriage side. All right. That's better. I don't like dragging my teeth across my blade against that hard oak. It'll take the set out of the teeth really fast. And so there you go. All right. So we go over there. Let's get that fence put back down on there. All right. We've got that set to where that'll cut that one log into. Get my good old-fashioned tape measure out here. About 5.5 inch wide boards, which is plenty wide. All right. We got about 5.5 inches between here and there, and about 5.5 inches to here and there. So when I cut this part off in the middle, then it'll give me a good part. And I've got an anchor in the top. I've got this slab, this between the log and here, about even, so that it'll cut me a nice even cut. All right, so let's fire it up and get her going. At the end of it there, Now we need to pull that part off there and resaw that other one. Alright. I'm just going to leave that one set over there until I get ready to cut it. And I'm going to cut this one on that side over here and roll it over and cut that grain off of it. Okay. Alright. Turned it on edge. Gonna get down there. I got a pretty good board coming out of the middle of that. And there we go. Alright, I've been adjusting the speed up and down on this a little bit, and if I go a little bit too fast it gets wavy, so I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it. It got wavy and bound right here off the get-go, so we're going to sharpen that blade and with the Dremel and give it the works, and we'll record that. Alright, first thing is I want to make sure that I got my juice shut off. Okay, so this is a 12 volts reactive switch to here, so if I turn that off and turn this off, there's no way that switch can activate, because the 12 volt won't activate this switch, and then the off on button won't activate the switch either. So anyway, just as a test.
Were you banging on the door?
No. Okay. And my wife and the towel there. Anyway, so it's basically off. And what you want this to do is to be prick to prick. And several times I've just taken a little stone like this and just run it with holding on to my fingers with this side over here and this stone right here, and just held it and just run it around there to sharpen them up. And I can get that pretty pin pricky after I Dremel it. Right now, it's not terribly bad, but it could be a little bit sharper. So I haven't Dremeled it for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and run the Dremel on it. And this is just a 5/32 bit, all depending on your gullet, whether it fills the gullet or not. And that's what you want. You want to bring you out here almost to the peak and give you a sharp point there. And then, you know, I basically run it back and forth, because if you don't, it'll wear your stone out, you know, and into that point there. So you know, you might as well, if you're going to do much of this, you know, get you a 3-pack for sure, and get that. So I'm going to go around this thing. All your blades have a brazed mark on them, and this one has actually 2 teeth that are right next to each other from the brazed mark, so it's pretty easy to find. Another way of doing it is to put a tape on it and to, you know, mark it like that. Like here it is, right here's your braze. So this one's fairly easy to identify. I don't even really need to put tape on it, but just, you know, in case I wanted to, you could. Now, this is also getting a little bit of a burr on the back side. And so what I'll probably do is go ahead, and after I sharpen it, I'm going to run it and get rid of the burr on the back side of it. And this also has a tip on the tooth that's broke off, and I think that's maybe 1, maybe 2 of them that are broke off. And when I was setting the depth of the teeth, when I was setting the teeth with this little tool right here, the first one I did, I snapped it off, which they warned against doing that. But anyway, you use this tool in there, you do it in there, and you push every other tooth one direction or the other direction. And when I was doing this, I basically took the blade off the saw, left the table intact, the blade was still right here, and opened the doors, and I had the blade off to the side over there, and I went around and set it, and kind of wonky how I did it, but, you know, it worked. Anyway, so I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to hit every one of these teeth and get them pearly sharp again, get them real nice and shiny, and let me get that done. It'll take me about 7 minutes. All right, I'm going to be able to get about 8 to 10 sharpenings with that bit before it gets, you know, to where it comes off there, depending on the quality of the bit. These seem to be pretty good. I went through one bit, and that's one that was off. That was just in the box. So I don't know how many times it's sharpened, but anyway, you feel this now. These got a little bit more prick on them, you know, that you can feel. There's the one tooth that's broke, but they definitely have a little bit of a pick on them, and they are also sharp or shiny all the way into the gullet and right in there. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna run the grit down through here with a 600 grit and just have that polish those just a hair, and we'll get that done. And basically all I'm doing is just having that go down past it. So I'll run that tape through there all one time. All right, I ran that through there just twice, and it's a little pricky. Yeah, that's what they said. It's like a cat's claw. When you feel it, you want it to prick you a little bit, so like it'll grab hold of your skin, kind of like a cat's claw prick. Okay, got that done. I am going to fire up the bandsaw again, and I'm going to just take this little burnished edge right off of the edge back on here. It's just a slight burnish. I'm going to run a file on that, and then I am going to turn the blade on and come in from the back side. Being very careful to do that. I'm not going to show that because I don't want anybody doing it. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's fire it up. See how she cuts. Got my depth set. Knobs are tight. Still screwed through the board. Look at the depth. Look at the cut. See what the cut looks like. Okay, this was the previous cut. This is the cut we just did. And I'm going to vacuum it just to see what she looks like. Okay. Turn this over. Now this is the side we just got through doing. This other side's got some burning on it, so you can see. It hasn't been vacuumed either. I'm going to vacuum it a little bit and then have a look at them. Okay, turn that thing off there. Turn that off. Put these earmuffs things off. They make me feel like I'm talking with a cold. All right, so that's with the blade that was a little bit on the dull side. This is the blade that's just recently been sharpened, so you can see the definite difference. Still has the, you know, my when I set my teeth, they're not set right. They're not balanced and nice and neat, and you can tell by the roughness of the cut, but it's cutting a lot better, and you can see it with the grain, you know, that board. So yeah, so that was good to get that one cut, and let's go ahead and get the rest of these cut. Well, that's how she goes sometimes. Snap, crackle, and pop. Try and put a new blade on there. That one lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I mean, that was from a last time I resawed a bunch of logs, and I knew I had resawed quite a few on it, and I didn't think I was going to get through the first log, and I've done like 6, 7 logs, and these are pretty good sized logs, so it held out pretty good, but it broke. So there you go. It's time to change it out. All right. 3 bolts to get the table unhooked there. 4 on the outside rails on both sides. I take the 4, maybe 5 on the outside rails. And then this one and this one. And then these 2 dowel bolts come out of here. Now I can take a new blade and stick it inside here and take it and put it on there. So, you know, basically that's it as it comes down. Table's pretty well supporting it. I did have to take off just a, you know, couple more things, but anyway, let me put that blade on there and get it running true, and we'll see what we can do. All right, there's that carbide impregnated blade. It wasn't cutting very good, so I took it off and got one of these. It didn't break, but just wouldn't cut worth a hoot. So you get one of them steel blades out from Grizzly. All right, so it is the same blade, and it's time to put it on that saw. And so I need to loosen it up and feed it through the slots and around through the door and all that good stuff. I've got my collars all opened up, so should exact same blade, so it ought to go in there without too much fuss. All right, once you get on done inspecting everything and you make sure it's all running, put your throat plate back in there, and you put this bolt here, this bolt in here, and then it's just a matter of bolting this table up here, and away we go. Tension set, alignment looks like it's running right. Might not be a bad idea to run the blade one time just to see what it looks like, but I think it's going to be fine. These big blades, they don't track bad. Anyway, put this all back together. There's my little Christmas gnome again. Have you ever seen my saw in such disarray?
No. What did you do to it?
I broke a blade. So I've been putting a new one on it. And there it is. Time to go eat. Alright, time to get this table secured. I got 3 bolts. So let's get that done. Alright, these 2 bolts are in. This bolt up underneath here is in. All I gotta do is just bring her up and cinch them up. So let's get that done. Alright, slipped on the sled on there. Just gotta feed it through that thing right there. We'll put this little guy right here on there. That'll lock that in. Then we'll go to putting the sides on. Alright, got all the bolts in there. I'll go around there and I'll snug them all up. And then I'll put the pulleys on the sled. And we'll be getting really close to it. So we'll go around here and tighten everything up with the drill. Alright, log about that big, 47 inches long, will net this much firewood at 47 inch, or not firewood, but lumber at 47 inch long. So we're going to take that back and get it stickered. And I just priced at Menards. This piece here, 3 foot long, oak. Menards shrink wrap, of course, is the best of the best. And no notches like this. Anyway, it was they're about $14-15 a piece. So you go to the 1x4s were like $13 a piece. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times 12, and then you got some 2-inch stuff there. So the 2-inch and 4-inch stuff was a lot more money, of course. But anyway, let's get her stick. All right, that one log needed us a couple rows. So there we go. That was a nice shield on that log. I did have, of course, the trouble with the blade snapping, and tried to sharpen it, but that was to be expected. And so hopefully get at least a couple more logs out of that blade before I have to do something to it. Anyway, let's go park the rig and go inside. Take it easy.